The Powerton generating station in Pekin was expected to close by 2028. Now it will remain in operation for longer than originally planned. Angeles Pompa tells us more.
The NRG Powerton generating station in Pekin is now poised to stay open until December 31st, 2029. The coal-fired power plant was previously scheduled to retire in December 31, 2028, under agreement with the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. Now, regional grid operator PJM requested the plant continue operating through 2029. The Illinois EPA later confirmed that PJM's request meets the regulatory criteria under the U.S. EPA ELG rule to allow continued operation until the end date. In a statement to 25 News, the company says, "We are prepared to move forward with the request from PJM that is supported by the Illinois EPA to extend operations at our Powerton, Fisk, and Waukegan facilities in support of the system reliability. Our goal is always to generate safe, reliable, and affordable electricity. We are looking forward to continuing to provide that for the people of Illinois." The city of Pekin also gave comment to 25 News about the extension, but eventual future closing of the plant. Pekin City Manager John Dossie adds that the proposed closure of the Powerton plant announcement will include the loss of good-paying jobs, a concern for the city. Although they do not know exactly yet how many residents will be impacted, he adds in part of a statement to 25 News, "Our thoughts are with the employees, their families, and the communities that have been connected to the plant. As more information becomes available, the city will continue to monitor the situation and work with our regional and state partners to support economic opportunities and workforce stability." In Pekin, Angeles Pompa, 25 News.